This will be really good for seeing what the different geometries do. Cool. Get burnt out just looking at me. Okay. Yeah, I do feel like I work kind of a lot. And I have a real job outside of this too. But somebody's got to make Manim less crappy. Rotate mesh. Why am I even setting this here? Is that necessary? Your preview is off the screen, by the way. Oh my gosh. I know I joke a lot that you guys should tell me stuff, but you actually should have told me that. Is it like this? There we go. Yeah, thanks. How long has it been like that? Anyway, I found a way, implemented a way to switch between different geometries. Additionally, you can, I think you can update the location of the lights. Did that stop working? I did something. What'd I do? Oh, maybe you can only do that for the first one. Oh. It's when I didn't set this. You do have to set this. But why? When you rotate the object, why would you have to update the light position? Point lights 0 dot position. Like, this isn't even changing, is it? Oh, it's because this single updater handles the rotation and the updated lights. Okay, so that's sort of just bad code. I need to not repeat this, I think. Well, geometry material, new mesh. Geometry material, mesh. I could set new geometry name equals none here. And now these are almost verbatim. I think I can do self.remove star of self.meshes. Just remove everything. Now and if I can do that, then now the startup code and the update code is the same. So I can make this def like add mesh. Or like replace new mesh or something. Just gonna take the geometry name. And I can call this. This input. Geometry name here. Thu? THU? Thanks so much for following. RMRF star. Exactly. The meme about RMRF star. Oh, not star. I guess star will work. But the meme about RMRF slash is that it won't actually work unless you unless you add dash dash no preserve root. So the next time someone says actually work unless you add dash dash no preserve root. So the next time someone says you should rmrf slash, you can say that. I don't know if that's actually true. I never like checked. Or rm. Yeah, no preserve root. So if you try to remove slash, it won't work. I've never... If you're root, I think it's the same thing. It's built into the program. I've never tested that. So, you know, your mileage may vary. Oh, whoops. New mesh. The night's still young. Indeed. Okay, so what I think I want to do, hopefully, replace new mesh. This need like an old mesh, new mesh. Right? No, an old mesh and then just the geometry name. Then when I replace new mesh, I can take this one, the new geometry name, pass that here. Just remove the... Oh, this just removes everything. Doesn't have to do that though. I'll just remove the old mesh. This can just be none. Hopefully you can try to remove none and it won't crash. Nope, sure can't. Jeez, this auto indentation is killing me. Great. Cool. I feel like this code is really complicated. Fusion 05, thanks so much. You have other dank invim color schemes. Could use the variety, just saying. Also, transparency actually makes it harder to read. Okay. I'll take that into account. It's... Okay, so here's... Okay, time for an aside. You can make this a little bit better. There are a few things you can do. Let me go here. This is the configuration file for my terminal. I'll make things bigger so it's harder to read. And I can edit the transparency somewhere. Here. It's currently at 0.7. I can up this to 0.8. And now when I create a new terminal, it'll be a little darker. So just for you, I'll do that. But other than that, I can also make this blur because the background is blurred, and I can do that some more too. Is it extended RC? Derailed into invim. somewhat. So then PyCom is my compositor. And this thing is then PyCom.conf. Okay, so this controls the blur for the terminal. I don't know what an acrylic effect is, unfortunately. But I can make controls the blur for the terminal. I don't know what an acrylic effect is, unfortunately. But I can make this more blurrier. By changing one of these. Oh. I think, so this is doing Gaussian blur on like every pixel or something like that. And I guess size is the size of the bell curve of the Gaussian, and then the deviation is the standard deviation. So it'll be harder to read. It'll be more opaque if I increase this. At this point, you really can't see the back at all, which might be a good thing if it makes it harder to read. Is that a little better? Well, now there's a ton of difference between this and this. I used to really like it with zero, I guess full opacity. You're just like coding on your desktop. And I actually got kind of used to it, and it has a really cool effect. But it does make it hard to read at times. What was I even doing? Oh yeah, I had a way to switch between geometries. More performant. Yeah, because you won't have to do any blurring. How do you see it? Oh, how do you see your text? You have to just make sure you choose colors that stand out against your background. The pro strat to do this, if you have a background that's a solid color, you can get some really neat effects. If your background is just like nothing fancy, it's just gray or something, because then you can just like open terminals, fully transparent terminals, and it'll be like just code appearing on your screen. I did that back in my college days. Good times. Okay. So this does a lot of what I want. That was really nice. Now I think I'll just add in box geometry. And the other one, torus knot geometry. If I run that. Oh, I see you're on a tablet. So I can switch this, the box, and the torus knot default. And adjust the lights. That's perfect. That'll be really nice for seeing the different geometries. Okay, that does pretty much everything I wanted now. This way of getting a geometry is really clean. This way of getting a material is actually not that clean, because all of this stuff is done inline. And actually this rotation should be done with a model matrix, so I should fix that actually. Okay, here's what should happen. the mesh class, before you render here, model matrix needs update. That's a weird... Oh, yeah, I don't have to deal with that right now. Like right here, this is where it should handle uniforms. Like read uniforms. So the mesh... Oh, it doesn't even have access... Well, I guess it has access to the shader. It also has access to the attributes. But it doesn't have access to the camera or the scene. So where would I read in... Geez, my voice keeps getting clogged. Like the model view matrix. I think the only way to be sensible place to do this is in the OpenGL rendering. Here, before I render, this is already setting a few uniforms. I guess let's do the view and the projection matrices here. I think I'll just have to do something like... Let me just print like mesh.shader program dot underscore members, maybe? I'll just try to print that. Oh, that didn't work. I think it's shader.shader program. Okay, great. So this is going to print out the different things that this could potentially take. In particular, it's going to print out the uniforms. So maybe I can just read in which uniforms it can read from the environment and pass those. And then this will change. Wait, this shouldn't change with different geometries. What in the world? Okay, I don't know why that happened before. Why is the sphere not perfectly round? That is an excellent question. This sphere is an approximation of a sphere. Parameterized like so. It's like this. Oh, I don't know if it's Archimedes' method. But there are parameters you can pass to this to make it much more like a sphere. And you can tell even this is an approximation. But it's an approximation that you probably would never tell the difference from. But by default, it looks like whatever. It looks like that or something, so... That's why it doesn't look like a sphere. Okay, so that's underscore members. I wonder if there's something like... If I can just get the uniforms? This isn't gonna work. There's no way. That'd be way too convenient. So I need a way to tell which of these are uniforms. It's like for KV, I can print the V, print, and this will print. No, should have had items. Manim has its own OpenGL objects, so why can't you use those for testing? Those are terrible. Yeah, Grant wrote his own. Dang. Grant wrote his own, but he did so much of the logic by hand that it isn't very feasible to integrate it with other OpenGL stacks, because so much of it's just like done in a weird way. And so I have to re-implement a lot of it. I guess I could do like string v dot contains. I guess I could do like string v dot contains uniform. I don't know if that'll work. I guess dot contains isn't even a thing. But if I print a string of this, oh well. Grant anonymously tunes in here every night, by the way. No way. That's not true. Is this Rust? It's Python, actually. I didn't know you could use N. So I'm going to print the value, then I'm going to print that. Okay, so this is a way to tell the uniforms. Or should it didn't get cut off when I did that? Uh-oh. Okay. I wish. That's how hard it is to see, though. Huh. Should I make it a little... Okay. Well, now you have to tell me, is this better? Or this? On my screen, this is getting, like, kind of comically large. Okay. Like, when I'm coding on my own, I try to see both these columns, and so I would code pretty much like this. Or like this. Rewrite it in Python, though? You mean rewrite it in Rust? But yeah, we should. I'd like to. Oh, I reached the end of my... I've been going for 2 hours. Great. Hold on, I wonder if there's like anything I can actually play that isn't gonna get me copyrighted. I'm getting into all my cringe music. Hold up. Let me try not to be cringe. No, I don't know. Normally I wish I could just play Spotify or something, but you can't do that on Twitch. Soma.fm, okay. We're derailing into RM. Lo-fi girl. That's pretty good. I feel like this is a soundtrack from an alien movie. Wait, I'll just do the lo-fi girl. Yeah. I listened to this way back in college. Okay, so here's what I basically need to do. I think I still do need the K and the V. Let me just print. If uniform is within V, then I'll just print K. Yeah. I should actually give this a better name. This is an attribute or uniform. I don't know what this is. Ah, forget it. I'll just leave it as KV. Man, I have to stop. I just like instinctively resize the terminal. So a bunch of these, the point lights, those come from the environment. But in particular, the model matrix, the model view matrix comes from the environment and the cam. The environment. But in particular, the model matrix, the model view matrix comes from the environment and the camera. Can you print V again? Yeah, V was... I'll just print them both. Actually, let me run this. I forgot what the name of the scene was. 3 server test. Okay, so this is the K and the V. But I don't know the type of this, so I can't just like check the type. What I'm probably gonna have to do is just say like if K equals view matrix, then I'm gonna pass in the view matrix, and I'll just do mesh.shader.shader program, or mesh.shader.add uniform view matrix. Rename V as uniform matrices or something similar. I could. The thing is, it's only uniform whatevers after this if statement. So if I were to add stuff here, and V was called like uniform stuff, then V could potentially be an attribute. It's like the super readable thing to do would be to say, call this V or whatever, then here I can call it uniform whatever is V. But I don't feel like doing that right now. I'm just trying to get it to work. Okay, but with the view matrix here, I'll just pass in the view matrix from the camera, which I already pulled out. Dang. Can we get the type, the attribute with type? Yes. The thing is, we can get the type of the attribute with type, but I don't have anything to compare it to. Let me see. Modern GL program members uniform. So I guess I could. I don't know if you're supposed to do this with modern GL. Hold on, let me close one of these. But I guess I could just from moderngl.programmembers.uniform import uniform, and now I should be able to actually check that. And that should actually work. Wait, let me print both. Vim is not having a good day today. This screen tearing. Yeah, and that actually worked. And do you prefer, like, his instance? Then I do that again. Okay, same thing. Okay. Okay, so now I'm setting the view matrix. This is where I need a try catch or something. What was I doing? Projection matrix. And I'll just use the perspective one by default.